He's the safari suit-wearing lounge singer with gorgeous teeth, the host of regional daytime telly show Good Morning Murwillumbah. No, I'm not interviewing myself today. Instead, we welcome back a Victorian Senior Festival favourite, Mark Trevorrow, the curious mind behind the Prince of Polyester, Bob Downe. Mark, are you ready?
Great, I'm rolling.
Mark, how did your television viewing as a youngster inspire the creation of Bob Downe?
TV, when I grew up in Melbourne in the 60s, was so camp. They were all so camp. Bert Newton and Graham Kennedy and Philip Brady and Bruce Mansfield and Mary Hardy. Everybody was just so unbelievably camp. That's where Bob comes from. And I think it connects with people's feelings and memories of what radio and TV and showbiz was like back then. It continued on right through the 80s and 90s in Melbourne with the wonderful Hey Hey It's Saturday, on which I appeared. By the way, I did appear on AA at Saturday. Daryl introduced me to Donny Osmond backstage, and Donny Osmond refused to shake my hand. Lovely days, the 80s. But you see, John Blackman, Pete Smith, all of those amazing guys, they went right back to those early days of television in the same, and they're inspired by it in the same way that I was inspired by it.
One of my favourite partnerships of Bob's is with the one and only Coralie Hollow.
Gina Riley. Gina Riley and I have been making comedy together since we met in 1980. Gina and I met when she was 18 and I was 21, and we met at Wendy Harmer's 25th birthday party. That's how long ago it was. And I was working with Wendy at that time on the Melbourne Sun News Pictorial. I was doing my cadetship. We were both journalists. Wendy and I were both journalists at the Sun, which is now the Herald Sun in Melbourne. And we had started a little group called the Globos, me and my friend Wendy Dual and a bunch of friends, and we'd put on shows at a party at our flat. And I met Gina, who was in a little cabaret group called the Drulettes with Karen Fairfax and Gina Mendoza.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. Talk about names. And names, darling, names. And so Gina and I met when she was 18 and I was 21, and we instantly fell in love. She was so excited to meet a boy that knew all about Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland. Whoops. She was very excited for about a minute. And then we created Coralie, in fact, 4 years before I created Bob.
I'm Bob Downe.
I'm Coralie Hollow.
Yes, and Coralie is inspired by a wonderful lady on Melbourne television who'd come down from Brisbane TV, a lady called Annette Allison, who was a big, blousy, fabulous TV presenter who was doing a show called Good Morning Melbourne with another little guy called Roy Hampson. And we were just so in love with her sort of chutzpah and her sort of doing shout-outs to all of her friends and people that she was involved in business with. It was sort of just very our kind of showbiz. So Gina and I were obsessed with Annette, and Coralie is directly inspired by Annette Allison and all of those kind of daytime TV ladies. When I first was doing the Bob Downe character, I sort of, in terms of breaking through on mainstream media in Australia in the early 80s, mid-80s, I was sort of like the only gay in the village. It was quite electrifying that I was so obviously gay, both as myself when I started doing Good News Week, as myself in the late 90s when it was on the ABC, and also being Bob. And I came up against a lot of resistance and sort of people in the business weren't very comfortable with how gay it was. There were so many people in the business who were gay and lesbian, but they were closeted, and nobody thought it was. People thought that they could sort of make little winks and nods towards it, but nobody was actually out.
Mark, we can't wait for you to come down and perform at the Coming Back Out Ball as part of the Victorian Seniors Festival in the near future.
Melbourne is my hometown. I am a Murrumbina boy.
Mark, it's been an absolute treat talking with you. Can you introduce the song that Bob's going to perform today on In the Groove?
It's a classic. It's a classic of pride and defiance. It's I Will Survive. I actually had a hit record with this. My version of this was a hit in 1995, and I'm very proud to continue singing it to this day. I Will Survive. Hi kids! This is a song that's been pretty good to me over the years. In fact, I gave it to Gloria Gaynor. I'll leave it to you to decide who does it better. At first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, I was strong, and I learned how to get along. And so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. Think you better dance now. Come on. Get out of that rocking chair, Grandma. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young. We can all get up and shake a tail for them. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Just trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent oh so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. Did you know I'd cry? But now I hold my head up high and you see me. Somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Oh sure, I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with your mind? Did you think I'd crumble? Ha! Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, you know the words. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. Because you never did evil. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Ha! Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. Security, I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. I will survive. Oh, that was exhausting. Have a great Seniors Festival. Reimagined.